Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. And it's been just about a week since I've gotten the P30 Pro from Huawei, and I wanted to do a check-in video talking about my further impressions of this phone after using it as my everyday phone. Now I need a little more time with the P30 Pro to get my full review up, so that is coming soon. Be sure you subscribe so you're notified when that goes live. And with that being said, let's go ahead and give some further impressions on Huawei's latest flagship. Let's get right into it. P30 Pro right here. First of all, some notes about the design. Now I will say, in terms of this color in general, it will collect some fingerprints. I made sure not to wash the back of this or wipe the back of it for a while. And you'll notice there are smudges. It is noticeable. It is a glass back. That is just with this color. It might be more or less noticeable with some different colors. And in terms of the back of the phone, it's actually quite slippery, a little bit more slippery than just about any phone I've used. And the reason I say that, it's actually not a big problem when you set the phone down on an angled table or any smooth surface because, of course, there's a bit of a camera bump. The camera actually will catch the table so it doesn't actually slide off. However, one thing, first of all, to go on a side note, I wish there was a toggle to turn on reverse wireless charging in these quick settings. I'm sure there might be a way to add one, but the fastest way I found is by pressing and holding on ultra power saver mode and then just ticking the reverse wireless charging. Now, with that on, this is where I kind of noticed that it was actually fairly slippery. I was sitting having breakfast, wanted to charge my headphones, and I don't know if it's actually pretty flat on my desk. It should be anyways, but you'll see it's actually slowly moving. Now let's try that one more time. You'll see if I just set my wireless headphones on to actually charge, it will start to spin. It spins very easily just because there's really no friction going on the back of the phone. So if you do set something on, I had it where I set it on my nightstand and I woke up and it was just off the side of the phone. When using the gestures on the P30 Pro, I've actually become a fan of them. They're fairly easy to get used to. Swipe up to go home, swipe up pause to get to recent apps. Now you swipe from the left or the right side to actually go back. So if I'm in settings and I swipe from the right, that will actually go back. And same with the left side. So maybe you're holding the phone with your left hand. That's great for those that use the phone with the left hand. However, for me, I wish there was an option to turn off one side to go back versus the other. The reason being because of the left side menu. Apps and Android in general have the swipe over from the left side to get to a menu, and you'll see that worked fine for me there, but a lot of times I find that it's actually just registering it as a back gesture instead of it actually being, if you're really careful, you can get it every time, almost every time, but you'll see you really have to try to get that menu going. Now, in terms of that in-display fingerprint scanner, I'm actually getting used to them in general on phones and learning the actual placement that my thumb needs to go without looking. I'm actually getting pretty good at it. Now, in terms of the accuracy and speed of this one, it's excellent. Great job, Huawei. They've definitely improved it over the Mate 20 Pros, and it's definitely faster. It's definitely more accurate. I can definitely get into my phone a lot faster. If you're someone like me and has their phone on a desk flat a lot, there is a double tap to wake feature that you can use, but also a raise to wake feature. So if you pick up your phone, it detects it, lets you know where to set that fingerprint to unlock it easily. Now, one feature that I think is very underrated on a lot of Huawei phones, they've had this feature for a while, is the knuckle gestures. Now, the one I use the most, just use a knuckle, double tap on the screen. It takes a screenshot, very simple, no need to fumble around between volume down and power. Now you can also use two knuckles and double tap to record the screen, I should say. I haven't had to do that just yet. But also one more, if you are in an app, use your knuckle to swipe a line across the middle and it will open it up in split screen mode. So really cool, the knuckle gestures, and they just work how they should, and they have for a while now. Something else really cool is if you look closely towards the top of the phone, there's actually no speaker, there's no earpiece, because they've integrated the sound within the display. So if you're actually in a phone call, it will recommend you put your ear about where my forehead is with this picture to actually listen, and sound quality has been really good. I'm actually very impressed with it. No issues with it being too loud, too soft. Good job, Huawei, integrating that in the display. The notch on this phone is very minimal, doesn't really bother me very much at all. Now I will also make note that this display resolution is 1080p and not 1440p like other flagships out there. However, this will help save battery life. You can even bump it down to 720p if you'd like to save battery life that way. And speaking of battery life, there's a 4200 milliamp hour battery inside this phone, which gives it very good battery life. I'll go into more detail in my full review, but one thing I would really like to make note of is how fast the charging is. So I will plug it in with the stock charger, and just look, the supercharging that it has, just the animation alone is so cool, how it goes up by a 100th%. Just a really neat little animation to really, if you really need to know exactly what percent charge you are at. The top and bottom of the P30 Pro is very flat. I don't mind it at all, but you'll see you can stand it up on its own if you'd like to, but I want to take a closer look at the top of the phone because there is an IR blaster, which I'm a big fan of. So all you really have to do is load up the Smart Remote app, and you'll see up at the top I have my family room TV and my bedroom TV, and I can control it with my phone. So that's everything I want to talk about for now with the P30 Pro. More coming, of course, full review, a lot more on this camera as well. I've actually had a really good time shooting pictures with this camera. Just need a little bit more time, take a little more test shots with it. So of course, expect that video soon. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to click that thumbs up down below. Be sure to subscribe. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching.